Do you love hilariously bad films? You're going to love Shark Week. Hi and welcome to the Geek Legion of Doom. This is a B-movie review and today we'll be having a look at Shark Week. So Shark Week isn't the documentary series based on the sort of natural history, wildlife and whatnot. This is a B-movie starring Yancy Butler and Patrick Bergin. The plot is fairly simple and basically it revolves Patrick Bergin being a kind of drug overlord, powerful drug overlord, and his consort Yancy Butler. They are trying to get revenge for the death of Patrick Bergin's son, who obviously is part of the family business. So what they do, they kidnap I think it's 8 different people, all who had something to do indirectly with his son's death. You've got the judge that sort of, you know, that was presided over the court hearings. You've got an EMT that worked on they couldn't revive him. You've got a policeman who was at the bus. You've got one of his ex-goons who should have been at the bus, but that was too hungover to to be there. So you've got all these different people. He kidnaps them all and sort of brings them to this sort of remote island, where he basically sort of says to them, "You've got to go through a series of challenges, pretty much all involving sharks." I mean, we're told he's this kind of shark-obsessed guy. And if he gets through all these challenges, obviously lasting a week, essentially, hence the title, then they're free to go. So that's basically the plot. So it's the plot, obviously, going through these various different sort of games, much like Saw, and as the group sort of get whittled down as you sort of go on. So it sounds like quite a fun film, and it kind of is, despite this. And there are some huge faults in this film. I still actually had quite a good fun watching this, but only because it was so cheesy bad. And I'm quite a big fan of shark films and movies, and there's tend to be a fair amount of these kind of low budget shark films, and they obviously all use sort of CGI and whatnot. But the interesting in this one, this uses. The actual CGI of the sharks isn't the worst that I've seen, but they're obviously CGI. But they also use CGI for other things, which I found incredible. Like there's scenes simply where people are jumping in water, they CGI them in rather than just having stuntmen, which I found interesting. So there's that. Now, the plot, as I say, is fairly simple, and it's actually quite ludicrous because basically these people are all sort of on this island, and they pretty much just go along with all of these sort of challenges, not really ever try to sort of escape. We don't really see any consequence. They pretty much go along with these death traps, and well, they could probably quite easily try to escape the island, or simply try to overpower these criminals. We're told he has an army of guards, but we only ever see 2. And at the end, this is going to be a bit of a spoiler, where obviously, obviously you're going to expect the bad guys to bite it in the end, and we don't see any guards. It's just him on his own, and he's taken out fairly sort of easily. But they kind of make dumb decisions along the way. A lot of the times they'll simply just jump in the water for no apparent reason. The 2 times strikeout stick to mind, especially. There's one scene where they're in a cave, and this sort of woman in her 40s basically is one of the sort of the people there, and she just has this wire, and this guy decides to jump in before her, decides to jump in the water, trying to fight this sort of medium-sized shark with a knife, and she just decides to jump in with a piece of wire and gets just immediately eaten. And then again, at the end of it, the last shark's going to be a great white, as you'd expect. And they seem to go out in a boat, a little dinghy, go out so far, one guy sort of jumps in, try and fights the shark, and then they sort of come back again. It's just, why bother going out in the first place? I mean, they weren't sort of going out to go over there, but we're told they're 100 miles from the coast. So really just doesn't make sense, a lot of this film. And that's just, I'm just plucking a couple of examples. There's a lot to choose from. So let's talk about the cast. You've got Patrick Bergin, who appears to be drunk on this, and goddamn, he's got old quickly. he actually looks like he's drunk for most of this film, and he's an amazingly hammy, over the top villain. The kind of rest of the sort of cast of, sort of the survivors are, you know, standard asylum type actors that you have in this thing. I suppose they're not bad for this type of film, but you know, obviously you're never going to see these people in any mainstream until they take some acting classes. But you know, it's not the worst I've seen, certainly. The effects, as I say, are very CGI. You've got CGI explosions, CGI sharks, CGI people jumping in waters and things like this. The plot is honestly is so dumb. It kind of reminded me a little bit of I suppose it's Sorg versus Shark Knight is probably more of an apt comparison, to be honest with you. It's, you know, so that's what you're getting basically. If you're watching an asylum flick, you kind of know what you're going to get. I've seen worse ones, but not by much. But this film is just, it's incredibly dumb. So this film, I'm going to give it a 2.5 out of 10. Have you seen it? What did you think? Leave me a comment. I look forward to seeing you next time.